So we're back with standard game 2 now, between Rodrigo, Crespo, Miguel, who's this time is on the top of the screen, with his Grixis control list, up against Felix Stenitzer at the bottom on his what appears to be a black-white control list. So both of these decks kind of a bit left field, not what we've been seeing in recent standard. So Rodrigo did win game 1. There's a succumb to temptation to draw 2 cards. Rodrigo did win game 1 with the Dynavolt Tower in play, which he never actually used. Here's a Gonti. He won the match on the back of Torrential Gearhulks. So it'd be interesting to see if Felix this time has brought in artifact removal, because his artifact removal you'd imagine would be Fragmentize and possibly Anguished Unmaking. Fragmentize, of course, can hit the Torrential Gearhulks as well. So we saw in the first game Felix really stumbled on, I think it was his 4th land drop that his 5th land drop, which mucked him up big time, and he never really recovered. Here's an interesting card, Kambal. I really like this card, so he's going to at least get 2 damage out of it from Rodrigo here. Kambal not long for this world. Just to show you what Kambal does, whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it's a sort of card you have to get off the battlefield very quickly. But yeah, but as I was saying before that, Felix stumbled on his land drop, so he never really recovered. This game, he's more of the aggressor. He's got the cards down that Rodrigo has to answer. And you see down there the Blighted Fen. So very, very good answer to a Gearhulk. This particular deck, I remember watching Felix's deck. I'm talking about the black-white control. It was featured on camera for the GP Minneapolis on the weekend. I think the player was playing a win in round 15, but unfortunately lost. He lost to Brad Nelson, who was playing a green-black. And here's one of Rodrigo's threats, a Kalitas. For those that follow the finance of MTG cards, Kalitas dropped quite significantly. An attempt to cast out is negated here. Kalitas dropped quite significantly about 2 weeks ago, down to about $5 or $6, and then with the re-emergence of these mass creature decks and the ability for it to gain lifelink against cards decks like Ramonette Red, he shot back up to $10. As the Dynavolt takes down the Gonti, what's he going to cast out? The Dynavolt Tower? Yep. Blighted Fen needs 5 other lands, I believe. Yeah. So the Blighted Fen is online at the moment, but With that zombie on play, it kind of confuses things for Felix because Rodrigo can just sacrifice the zombie. So in order to take advantage of the Blighted Fen, he first has to get the zombie off the battlefield. I'm just really curious here to see if Rodrigo has a... Well, he's going to activate the Gaia Reach, so both players are going to get to draw a card here. Then they have to discard. Rodrigo discards a Shock and Felix discards a Swamp. I'm really excited to see if Rodrigo's going to dump a Bolus. Well, here's something we didn't see from game one. There's actually blue in Felix's deck. Oh no, sorry. Apologies. The blue, that'll be the cast from the Gonti. But it gets negated, so unfortunately he doesn't get the cards. Rodrigo down to 2 cards. Felix is on 4 with the draw. And plays a Liliana. Is this going to resolve? No. Disallowed. Rodrigo down to 1 card. We look at Rodrigo's grave. He does have a Glimmer, so if he can find a Gear Hulk, he can gas back up. Oh, I'm guessing this thing in the ice has come out the sideboard. But with only 1 card in hand, it's going to be difficult to flip that thing. We're both going for draws here. Felix casts Succumb to Temptation to draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. In response, Rodrigo casts his last card, which is a Glimmer, so he gets to look at 2. So it resolves. Felix will draw up to 5 cards now. And he finds an Ob Nixilis. Oh, Rodrigo found a negate though. And that thing in the ice is starting to threaten now. Does Felix have a response? No, he doesn't. Rodrigo down to 1 card. So here we go. What can Felix do? 4 cards in hand. He's on 10 life. Oh, a Bruna the Fading Light. We haven't seen this very often. He can bring back an angel from the graveyard, but I don't believe he's got anything in there. No angels in the graveyard, so it's just a 5/7 flyer. Rodrigo with 1 card in hand. He's considering... Hey, he's targeted Kumbal. Let me just read that again. Oh, it's an angel or a human. Okay. In response, we're going to see a Gear Hulk. What's he going to target? Targeting Glimmer of Genius. He does have a disallow in there, so I'm guessing he's going to kind of look for a disallow perhaps, or anything I guess that he can use to flip thing in the ice. So now he's one spell. Felix says, come on. Rodrigo's 1 spell short now of flipping, so you'd imagine he probably found it with the Glimmer, either the Glimmer or the draw. Well, he played an Ether Hub, so that's probably his draw. So did he find something to flip the thing in the ice, which will bounce both Bruna and Kumbal? and importantly the torrential Gearhulk, and that would probably be enough to win it, I would imagine. He didn't find it, but he found the Gearhulk, so he can play the Gearhulk, play the spell which will flip the thing in the ice, which will bounce the Gearhulks back. So we're going to know he's got 2 torrential Gearhulks in hand. And a mystery 3rd card. Felix needs some sort of removal spell, quick smart. Interesting there that the Bruna is an angel horror, and awoken horror flips all non-horror creatures, but he can still get in safely because the Bruna can't block. Oh, he can block, but he would die. Felix down to 5, and a second thing in the ice. What does he have? What answer? The second thing in the ice is crucial protection against the Blighted Fen. He does have an answer. It's never return. That was timely. And Bruno with Vigilance is going to get in for beatdowns, and Rodrigo's down to 7, and a follow-up Gideon. So out of nowhere, I think... Let's see if Rodrigo's got anything in his graveyard that those Gearhulks can get him out of. And a Kumbal. There's nothing there. Harness Lightning, perhaps? Wait, what happened there? Ah, there's a requested rollback for some reason. It doesn't tell you who requested the rollback. So Bruno gets in for the 5. He plays the Never Return. Felix requested the rollback. He plays a second Never Return. No, he flashed it from the exile zone. Okay, then he plays Kumbal. Alright, so initially he played Gideon, then he changed his mind that he wanted to flash back the Never Return. What did he target? He targeted Harnessed Lightning. Oh, and there's a big one. Hour of Devastation. From Rodrigo. It's going to deal him 2 points of damage. And just a very quick mention of the league rules there. That rollback that was requested by... I want to follow up Harness Lightning because Bruno survives the Hour of Devastation. The rollback that was requested by Felster, Rodrigo was fully within his rights to refuse that rollback because the rollback request was because Felix changed his mind. He didn't want to play the Gideon, he wanted to play a different spell. Rodrigo's under absolutely no obligation to grant that rollback, but did so out of sportsmanship. As Felix is going to fire up the Shambling Vent and get in here. Rodrigo still has 2 Torrential Gearhulks in hand though. But there's lethal on board here for Felix. We could be going to a game 3. Oh, he's got a Never Return of his own to take down the Gideon. That was timely. And Andy has the mana up for the Gearhulk. So what does Felix have enough to activate the Vent and a Blighted Fen here? If he does, this one's over. We know 2 of the cards, so he's only looking at the 3rd. Let's see what we're up against. 2 Gearhulks and a Disallow. So he can disallow one of the triggers on the Blighted Fen or the Shambling Vent. He chooses not to fire up the... I think he could have... Yeah, he actually could have fired up the Vent then, and also activated Blighted Fen, and it would have been lethal. He can still get the Gearhulk here. What's the Gearhulk going to target? He can target... I think there's a shock in there. that would take down the Knight ally. I don't think he has any draw spells left. 11 cards. Oh, he's targeting the Harness Lightning. Yeah, there's no draw spells left for him. He does have the option of making a zombie as well. So he'll Harness Lightning down the Knight ally, meaning that Felix now faces a 2-turn clock. Felix has got no cards in hand. So the Blighted Fen will take the Gearhulk. But I think Felix missed an opportunity just to get the win right there. Last card in hand for Rodrigo is a Gearhulk. As he draws, he's down to 3. Felix on 9 with no cards. This is coming down to a tight finish. So he uses the Never Return just to get the blocker. He can fire up the Fumarole as well. We know one of the last cards, 2, 4, 6. He still has a 6 mana, so he's going to fire up the Shambling Vents. We don't know what that last card is from Rodrigo. It's a Fatal Push. Oh, so now there's a big problem for Felix because Rodrigo can fire up the Fumarole. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If he needs one more land to be able to fire up the Fumarole and to have Gearhulk as backup. Because Gearhulk can find. There's plenty of counter spells there. So here we go. Can Rodrigo find a land? If he does, I think he's got the standard match 2-0. Felix with 1 card in hand. He didn't find the land, so he's going to fire up the Fumarole anyway. The Blighted Fen is going to protect one of them. Felix doesn't have enough mana here to Fatal Push and activate the Fen. What's that last card in his hand? We're not going to find out this turn. He's going to Blighted Fen. So probably the zombie goes down. So he's going to drop to 5 here. Rodrigo 2 cards in hand. We know one is a Gearhulk. And it can't be flashed in at the end of this turn. Felix going to draw. What can he do? He needs an answer for that Fumarole. Oh, he's tapping out for Siren. Oh, he'll have 2 mana actually. What do you do here? I think he got a plus because he can actually win the game if he turns something. So it's a Gearhulk and 1 other card. Does he have a counter spell here, Rodrigo? Otherwise he could be dead right now. He has a counter spell. It's Disallow. He seems to have the answer every time. So last card in hand is a Torrential Gearhulk with Oh, it's he drew a Dynavolt Tower for the turn. Two, 4, 6, 7. He's got enough mana to activate the tower once here. Okay, so this is he's going for lethal right now. If Felix doesn't have a removal spell, then he's dead. Because this is going to do 4 damage, the tower can finish him off. Well, either way, he's dead. He doesn't have the mana to play that. And Rodrigo wins the match in standard 2-0.